Hello friends, welcome back to VCP Technology. In this video, I am going to teach you about data structures. So data structures are nothing but an area which is used to group all the variables into a single variable. Data structure is similar to an array, but there is small difference between data structure and an array. Array can hold multiple variables at a time of similar data type, right? So it cannot hold the different data type values at a time. If you mention the array as integer array, then it can hold only integer values. If you mention the array as a character data type array, it can hold only the characters, but it cannot hold the integers and characters at a time. But if you want to hold those both values means, then that is possible in data structures. So data structure can hold multiple values of different data types at a time. So we can simply say that the data structure is used to group more than one variable of different data type into a single variable, right? So these are the types in data structures. Now we'll see about one by one. First, let me tell you about the simple data structure. So this is the program for simple data structure. Here DCL means declare. For variables we will specify yes over here, right? So that is for standalone variable. Now we are going to declare a data structure, right? Then we have to specify DS. DS means data structure. After that you have to specify the data structure name. In that I am going to take three variables which are ID, which is a type of zoned, and name, which is a type of varchar, and the salary, which is a type of zoned with two decimal positions. Okay, after that you have to end the data structure. This is the mandatory thing. Whenever you open the data structure, you must to close it. So how do we close it? By using this command. If you specify this, then only the compiler will consider that this data structure is ended over here. Okay. After that, I'm initializing the data structure variables with some values, and I'm going to display those variables. Now we'll file this and compile. We'll see the output. Call it 168 Arvind. Here is the value. In this compiler, you can't see the decimal positions in the output. Okay, but there is a decimal position over here. Instead of displaying each and every variable in a separate manner, we can display all those variables at a time only. For that, you just to specify the data structure name. That's it. Now we'll file this and compile this. We'll see the output. Now we will get the output in a single line. So here we go. This is the output. So this is the value of ID, and this is the value of name, and this is the value of salary. So that is the simple data structure. So this is the program for qualified data structure. It is similar to simple data structure only. You can observe one thing over here. Up to this, it is look like a simple data structure. If you mention this qualified keyword along with the simple data structure, then it will be converted as a qualified data structure. Then what is the difference between simple data structure and qualified data structure? In a simple data structure, we can use the variables which are present in data structure directly. But in a qualified data structure, we cannot use those variables directly. Instead, we have to specify the data structure name before the variable separated with the dot. Okay, so here is the qualified data structure. Here I have begun the qualified data structure. After that, I have taken two variables which are ID and name. After that, I have closed the data structure. So here I am initializing the ID variable with 168. Here you can see this is the data structure name and this is the variable name. These both are separated with a dot. After that, I am initializing the name variable also along with some value. After that, I am displaying those variables. So here I am displaying the ID with some text, right? So this is the string and ID is a number, and string and number cannot concatenate at any time. So we have to convert that number into character, right? So for that, I am going to take this character function, and I have converted this ID into character data type. After that, I am concatenating this string with the value. After that, I am printing the name also. Here name is a string and this one is also a string. So this can be directly concatenated. There is no need of conversion. Now we'll file this and compile this. But call it ID is 168, name is VCP Technology. So here is also one more method. Instead of displaying these variables separately, we can display them directly by using data structure name. So here you can see the output. This is the value of ID and this is the value of name. I am displaying the data structure, right? So that is why we got the output in a single line. If you display those variables separately, then you will get the output in a separate line. Okay. That is the qualified data structure. Now we'll move to the next data structure, which is template data structure. So this is the program for template data structure. Template data structure is similar to qualified data structure only. You can observe one thing here. This is the common for qualified data structure, right? So along with qualified data structure, while you are declaring the qualified data structure, you just need to mention the template over here, then it will become as a template data structure. So here I have taken 3 variables and I have closed the data structure over here. So here you need to know one thing. If you mention the data structure as template data structure, you cannot access these variables by using this data structure name. Then how can we access these variables? Means you need to create another data structure by using like ds keyword. Here I have taken another data structures which is called info with the help of like ds keyword of my info data structure, which means this info data structure can access all the variables which are present in my info data structure. Here I am going to initialize those variables with some value by using info data structure name. After that I am going to display that data structure. Now we'll file this and compile this. Call it. Here you can see the output. This is the value of first name and this is the value of second name and this is the value of age. Okay, so this is about template data structure. Now we'll move to the next data structure, which is using the overlay or position keyword. Here you need to know one thing. In fixed format we are going to use the overlay keyword, but in free format instead of overlay keyword we are going to use the position keyword. Okay, so this is the example for position keyword. Here I have taken the qualified data structure and in that I am going to take 4 variables. In those 4 variables I have initialized 3 variables in the declaration itself. Like this also you can initialize a variable. I think you know this, right? So after that now I am going to initialize this 4th variable from the third position, which means this var variable will be initialized from the third position. Now if you display this data structure, the output will be like ABC PQR XYZ. This is the output for this data structure. Now I am initializing the 4th variable from the third position, right? So this is the third position. And what is the length of this variable? 2, right? So from the third position it will take the 2 characters and that will be stored in var. Okay, which means C and P will be stored as var. Okay, what is the value of var CP, right? Now we'll file this and compile this. Call it. So this is the output for data structure and this is the value of the var variable. So this is how you have to use the position keyword. Now we'll move to the next one, which is multi-dimensional data structure. Here I'm going to take the qualified data structure, which is STD, which means student. Okay, in that I'm going to take 2 variables, which are student ID and name. After that I'm closing the data structure. Here if you observe one thing, I have mentioned dimension of 5, which means this data structure can hold 5 elements of this structure. Okay, which can hold the 5 students data, which will have the variables of student ID and name. Okay, in that I'm going to initialize the first student details, which means like this: std of 1 dot std id. This is the data structure name and this is the first student name, which means the first one, and this is the student id. After that I'm initializing the second variable. This is the data structure name, this is the first one, and this is the name of the student. After that I'm going to display that data structure, right? If you are going to display the data structure like this, then you'll get an error because there are 5 dimensions which are present in std data structure, right? If you don't mention the dimension here, it will give you the error. If you mention the dimension over here like this, then you'll get the proper answer. Now we'll file this and compile this. Call it. So you got the proper answer. Here now I'm going to take one more student details, and after that I'm going to display the details of the second student, right, along with the first student. Okay, now we'll file this and compile this. Call it. These are the details of first student and these are the details of second student, right? So this is how it works. Now we'll go to the next data structure, which is special data structure. So special data structure in the sense program status data structure. Okay, this program status data structure will give us the system level information, which means this can help us at any point of time. Okay, now I'm going to write a program for this. So this is the program for special data structure. This is the declaration of data structure. After that, you have to mention this keyword PSDS. So if you mention the PSDS keyword, then only it will be considered as program status data structure. After that, I am going to take some variables. I have already told you one thing, that this will give you the system level information, right? From that system level information, I am going to extract the current date, and I'm going to take the username, job number. In PUB400, if you start a session, or else if you log into that PUB400 session, these all values by default will be activated. If you start a session, then you will get the current date and job name, which is start with the Q, and user is your name, and the job number is some default value. After that, I am going to display all these variables. Here you observe one thing, that I didn't initialize these variables because I am extracting the values from the position of 191 and 224. After that, I am going to initialize this variable from the position of 254. After that, the job number is starting from 264 up to 6 digits. So like that, all values will be already stored in these variables. Now what I need to do is, I have to display all these variables, right? So I'm using qualified data structure, right? I must use the data structure name. That is why I'm taking the data structure name over here along with the variables. Now we'll file this and compile this. Call it. So here you can see the output. So this is the current date, second month, 27th date and 2023, and this is the name of yours. This is your job name and this is your username. This is the job number. I have already told you, right? So if you start a session in PUB400, by defaultly you will get a random number. So that is the job number. This is my job. Here this is my job number and this is my username. After that, this is my job name. And this is the date. Now you can see the current date, right? So this is the program status data structure. Now we will move to the next one. Now I'm going to move the data structure data into array. So this is the next concept, right? You may get a doubt that how can we move the data structure data into array, right? Here I have taken one simple data structure. In that I'm going to declare 3 variables, which are first name, last name and person. First name is declared with varchar data type along with 15 size. After that, I am initializing the last name by using like keyword. If you mention the like keyword along with some variable, and this like keyword will get the data type and size of the mentioned variable for this variable. Okay, after that I'm going to take another variable which is like a first name, and which will have the 2 dimensions, and the storing position for this variable is from the starting position, right? That is why I am using the same position. This is a keyword. So this will help to this variable to store the values from the first position in first name, from where the values are going to start storing from the first position, right? So like that only the values will be stored in this person variable also. So after that, I have taken one more variable. Now I am initializing these variables at some value. After that, I am going to display those variables. Okay, in this person variable we have 2 dimensions, right? One is persons of 1 and the second one is persons of 2. The persons of 1 will contain the first name and the persons of 2 will contain this last name. Okay, now we'll file this and compile this. We'll see the output. Call it VCP technology. So this is how you can move the data which is present in data structure into an array. Okay, now we'll move to the next concept, nested data structure. So this is the example for nested data structure. It is similar to matrix. In mathematics we have matrix, right? So it will be like this. So then how can we print the output like this? Okay, for that we are going to use the nested data structure. So this is the example for nested data structure. Here I have taken qualified data structure with the name of row along with the dimension of 3, which means it will contain the structure of this for 3 times. Okay, here I am taking the variable as column with the dimension of 3, which means it will contain the 3 variables, which are column of 1, column of 2 and column of 3. After that, I am going to take some variables. After that, here I am initializing the data structure by using for loops. You can initialize the data structure like this also. So first, I have taken 2 for loops. This is the outer for loop and this is the inner for loop, right? Here I am starting the I values from 1 to 3 because the dimension of row is 3, right? So you have to start the I values from 1 to 3. Here I indicates the rows and J indicates the columns. Columns also are having the dimension of 3, right? For that I am going to take the J values from 1 to 3. Here I am going to initialize the first variable, which means row of 1. Here I value is 1, right? Row of 1 dot column of 1, which means this one. I am going to initialize I into J, which means 1 into 1. 1 will be stored in this position, right? J value will be incremented by 1, which means 2. In that I value is still 1, right? In that second position, this value will be stored, which means 1 into 2, which means 2 only, right? So 2 will be stored at the second position. After that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means 3. 3 is less than or equals to 3, right? Condition is true, then it will come inside the for loop. I value is still 1, right? Which means the first row, third position. 1 into 3, 3. 3 will be stored at the third position in the first row. Okay, after that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means 4. 4 is less than or equals to 3. Condition is false, right? Then it will come out of the inner for loop and I value will be incremented by 1, which means 2. 2 is less than or equals to 3. Condition is true, right? It will come inside the outer for loop. It checks the condition. J is equals to 1. 1 is less than or equals to 3. Then condition is true, right? It will come inside the inner for loop. Here I is true, right? Which means the second row. And J is 1, right? Which means the first column, which means now we are going to print this value. What is the value of I? 2, right? 2 into what is the value of J? 1, right? 2 into 1, 2. 2 will be stored at first position at second row. So which is like this. After that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means second position, and I value is still 2. 2 into 2, 4. 4 will be stored at second position, which is like this. After that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means 3. I value is still 2, right? So at second row, third position, 2 into 3 will be stored. 2 into 3, 6, right? So 6 will be stored like this. After that, I value will be incremented by 1, which means 3. 3 is less than or equals to 3. Condition is true. Then it will come inside the for loop. It checks the condition. J is equals to 1. 1 is less than or equals to 3. Condition is true. Then it will come inside the inner for loop. I value is 3, right? Which means third row. J value is still 1, right? So which means first position. In third row, first position. I value is 3, J value is 1. This position, right? After that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means 2. In the third row, second position, 3 into 2 will be stored, which means 6. After that, J value will be incremented by 1, which means 3. 3 is less than or equals to 3. Condition is true. Then the third row, third position, 3 into 3 will be stored, which means 9. So 9 will be stored like this. Now I have selected the data structure, right? So now I need to display all those values, right? So for that, I'm going to take another for loop. So here I have taken one more for loop. In that, I'm going to repeat the I values from 1 to 3, and I'm going to display those variables which are present in row. Okay, we'll file this and compile this. We'll see the output. Call it. So here you got the answer. Here why you have got the output as 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 means you have initialized the variable length with 2, right? So it will automatically take the 0 before the given digit if you want mention the 2 digits of number. Okay, that is why we got the output like this. So if you want the output exactly like this, then you have to do like this. For that, I'm going to take another variable which is p. Here I'm going to repeat these loops from I value 1 to from 1 up to dimension of the row. Okay. After that, I'm initializing the p with nothing. After that, I'm taking the another for loop which is for j. After that, instead of displaying these variables, I'm going to concatenate these value by converting that into character to p variable. After that I'm displaying the p. Here I'm taking the j values from 1 up to column, right? Now I'm converting the value which is present at first row at first position. I value is 1, right? First row, j value is 1, right? First position. I'm converting that value into character and I'm concatenating to p. After that j value will be incremented by 1, which means 2. At the value which is present at first row second position will be converted as character and that will be concatenated to p. After that j value will be incremented by 1, which means 3. The value which is present at the first row third position will be converted as character. After that will be concatenated to p. After that j value will be incremented by 1, which means 4 is less than or equals to 3, condition is false. Then it will come out of the inner for loop and I'm going to display that to values. After that I value will be incremented by 1, which means 2. Then it will come again inside the for loop. It prints the second row. After that the third row. Like that all the values will be printed. Now we'll file this and compile this. We'll see the output. Here we got the exact output which we want, like this. Now I'm going to tell you one real-time example of data structure. Okay, so this is the data structure. In that data structure we have 4 variables: first name, last name, contact and department. In the contact variable we have again 3 variables: personal mobile number, work mobile number and email. In the email variable we have again 2 variables which are personal and official emails. So for that I have a program. Here is the program. Here I have taken one qualified data structure with the name of employee. Here I have taken 4 variables: first name, last name, contact and department. I am declaring the first name with varchar data type and last name with varchar data type and the department with varchar data type. That is fine, right? Here is the thing which we want to know. In this contact we have again 3 variables, right? You cannot declare all those variables here itself. For that I am going to take another data structure and I am using that data structure name by using like ds keyword. Okay, this is the data structure name which is here. Here I am going to take another qualified template data structure. In this I am going to declare 3 variables which are mobile number, work phone and email. These mobile phone and work phone are declared with zone type, right? Now the thing which we want to know is this. Here in email we have again 2 variables, right? So as I said, so you cannot declare those variables here itself. For that I'm going to take another data structure and I'm going to take the copy of that data structure by using like this keyword. Okay, so this is the another data structure which is email template. In that I have 2 variables, so personal and official. So these are the declaration of all those variables. Now I have to initialize these variables and I have to print these variables, right? I'm initializing the first variable by using the data structure name. This data structure is qualified, right? That is why I'm using the data structure name along with the variable by separating with the dot. After that I'm initializing the mobile number which is present in contact data structure, right? And that contact is present in employee data structure. Like this you have to access that mobile number. First you have to write the topmost data structure, after that the inner data structure, after that the variable. After that I'm going to initialize the work phone variable. After that I'm going to initialize the email. In this email we have 2 variables, right? First one is personal and official, right? So you have to access that variable like this. This personal variable is present in email data structure, right? And this contact data structure is present in employee data structure. Like this you have to separate all those data structures by using dot operator. By using this structure you can access this variable. Okay, so after that I'm going to display all those variables along with some text. Now we'll file this and compile this. We'll see the output. Call it first name Arvind. So this is the output which we got. So that's it for this video. I hope you understand these programs. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.